Supercon, everybody make some noise. Right now, I have the pleasure of introducing to the stage the one, the only, the man you're here to see, the Incredible Hulk. Let's give him a nice warm welcome for Lou Ferrigno. Make some noise, everybody.
Hello, how are you? Thank you. I'm happy to be in Fort Lauderdale. I'm trying to escape all the mosquitoes. Last night they almost picked me up and took me out of the hotel room. Anyway, other than that, I'm having a great time. I think you people are great, and it's great to be in Florida. And we'll have some fun. And how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing wonderful. It's really great to see you and to meet you, to get to speak to you. Of course, all of your fans are here. Make some noise one more time. So, the Incredible Hulk, one of the most amazing characters in Marvel, and you get to portray that character from a very young age. I mean, how is it to be recognized everywhere you go?
Well, what's interesting, the Hulk, I started the film 41 years ago. Excuse me. You never know who it is. Anyway, so 41 years ago, and I remember I was like 25 years old. So at the time, we only had channel 2, 4, and 7, so it was like a roll on the dice because Spider-Man is a series and Captain America failed. So when I did the Hulk, I did the pilot. So at the time, I was training for the Mr. Olympia competition. This was 6 weeks before I was in the best shape of my life to have the audition. Because at the time, they were shooting the pilot of the Hulk with another actor named Richard Kiel. He played George and James Bond like 7-2. So one day, the director came on the set with his son. The boy said to his father, "Daddy, this is not the Hulk. It doesn't look like the character in the comic book, the muscles." They realized they had a problem because Richard Kiel wasn't that believable. So I received a phone call. I went down for the screen test. And then I won the audition. And the next day, I'm looking in the mirror, I see these white eyes, green wig and teeth growling. I said, what am I doing? Because I wanted to win the Mr. Olympia competition in 1977. So then, it was the gamble. Because I was hoping to get picked up as a series. Because no one knew then, back then. The only people that knew about the Hulk were like a comic book reader. So once the show hit the air, and then the rest is history.
And you were a fan of the comic as well. That was one of your inspirations, as well as Spider-Man as well?
Yeah, because as a kid, I used to love reading Superman comics. I used to come home from school. Because in my life, when I was young, growing up, I had to overcome a severe speech impediment and I had a hearing issue. So I used to come home and watch Superman because I was obsessed with power. Because children are obsessed with power. So I was like a real like Walter Mitty to read the whole comic books. I used to watch Superman on TV because then kids believed that Superman was real. So that was my escape, my imagination, and I'm glad I did it because that was the path for me to get involved in bodybuilding and where I am now because it was positive. Because I was introverted as a child, and I was always condoned as a misfit, as this and that stuff, because I never had a good relationship with my father. But to make the best out of it, that was my path to survive. And I'm glad I did it because it's interesting because every one of us has a path and we all have passion. You have to embrace your passion because that makes you rich and beautiful. Everything else is secondary.
That's beautiful, yeah. So you got into fitness and bodybuilding at age 13, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so like what did you do to get started or like I know you like, what was your fitness regimen when you were younger, when you first started?
Well, that's a good question because when I was young, I was poor. I didn't have much money. So I wanted to work out and build muscle. So what I would do is I would go to the hardware store and collect some empty pails. And I'd get broomsticks. And I used to put cement in the pails, like half, 2 pails, and then another pail, put 3/4. I made my own barbell. And with a broomstick, I mean, it would be turning on the broomstick. But I just love the feeling of working out because a friend of mine down the street, they had weights, they had all these magazines. I couldn't afford it, so I used to watch them. But the first time I remember picking the weights up, I said to myself, I really like this feeling. So at the time, I was reading a lot of different comic books. Believe it or not, I had the first issue of the Hulk, Spider-Man. I should have stayed there because I could buy this building by now. But guess what? I go to a comic book store and I see a guy on the cover, Dave Draper, with a chest pose. And I said, wow. I said, Mr. Universe, because I used to watch Mr. Universe on TV. I never knew they had Mr. Universe, a male competition. So I remember I took the magazine home, I read it from page to page, and I studied everything about the body, the exercises, all that involved into it. Because when you're passionate about something, I will map out. I would just learn much as I can to digest everything I can about the body, about the fitness, because I was bullied as a kid. I used to get beat up a lot, and I always wanted to defend myself. I guess I did a good job at it.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna bully me anymore.
Well, yeah, Brooklyn's is a tough place to grow up. I
It
mean,
is.
yeah. So I'm from Long Island myself.
Are you?
Yeah. So New York is a tough place. It's cold. It's bitter, and bullies can be mean, you know. But now you're the biggest man in the world. You're huge. You're what, 6'5", right?
Yeah.
And how much do you bench?
Well, I was 25, 26. I was in the first World's Strongest Man competition, and at the time I was benching 560.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, not
That's
today.
insane. That's amazing. So,
I try that today. You put me on a gurney straight to the hospital.
but even now, you're a very big presence in the fitness community. You have Ferrigno Fit, and can you tell us a little bit about that and what that means to you?
Well, Ferrigno Fit is a great business we had. My daughter and I started because it teaches you how to become your own personal trainer. You don't have to hire a trainer. You get online. You get custom meal plan, exercise, how to train for anybody, any type. Just check it out, FerrignoFit.com. I think it's like $100 for 3 months, worldwide, global. So it's great because as a kid, you know, when I was young, I couldn't afford a trainer. And I would love to have the luxury of a website like this because especially you can learn how to work out. Because now everybody's working out, so many people. Because back then when I was young, growing up, it was only a male thing. You go to the gym, you never see women working out. So now everybody's concerned about their health, how they feel. So it's great to exercise in some form, swimming, running, or doing something to improve your circulation. It's very important, especially for you guys who don't work out. You should exercise to some degree because I'm 66, and I feel like inside of me I'm like 35 because the way I feel from working out. So always feel like inside of your head you're younger than you are. And age is just a number. Just remember that because Al Capone always said, as long as you're above ground, you're better than being underground. We have our health. We're still here. Make the best out of it.
That's great advice, absolutely. Can you tell us a little bit about, Ferrigno Fit, the FIT actually stands for focus, invest, and take action. Now, those 3 steps obviously are very important in becoming fit and living and maintaining a healthy lifestyle. So can we touch base on those 3 points?
Well, it's all about focus, it's all about taking action. That means working out and also being fit, concerned about your whole well-being, like the diet, the training, how you eat and everything. You know, before we go on, I'd like to do Q&A here.
Oh, absolutely.
Some questions because I want to spend time with the fans.
No, I
here.
totally agree. And there's a dedicated mic there for you guys. If you have any questions, please, by all means, get up, jump in line. Make sure you guys enunciate, speak loud, and ask whatever question you want. So Lou wants to
don't
take
be
some
shy,
questions
just
from the
get up.
fan. Come on up, you guys. Anyone have a question for Lou? There we go. We got our first fan. And by all means, you guys can start lining up and ask whatever you want. Hi, what's your name?
Carlos, how you doing? I wanted to know how does it feel to be a sheriff? I heard you were a sheriff.
That you were a sheriff.
Yeah, you know, my father was the NYPD lieutenant for years. So I've always wanted to get involved in law enforcement. I've always respected law enforcement. So 15 years ago, I was talking to the sheriff in LA. He said, once you go through the academy, I didn't want to be honorary. I wanted to do the real deal. So I went through the academy. I learned to study all the rules and about the laws of arrest, the shooting, the driving, everything. It's changed my life completely. It feels great because, especially our time, homeland security, we need that connection with the public. That's why today it's called community policing, because many years ago, the cop would walk the beat and get to know the neighbors and the public trust. We're going back to that now. And that's why I want to get back being a deputy sheriff, because like Shaq O'Neal has done the same thing. And it's important because we need that today. I want to be a real-life hero.
You
Sounds
are.
awesome.
You are.
I couldn't imagine getting in trouble and then who shows up to arrest me is Lou Ferrigno. I'd be so scared.
Well, except they got to give me their autograph because they're going to have to sign the ticket.
Hey, what's up? What's your name?
Hi, I'm Daniel. I got a question for Lou. So when you started working out, what was your original weight that you could bench? Like, what was your original
I
weight?
started,
Yeah.
I couldn't even bench 100 pounds. I was skinny, I couldn't gain weight, I was very thin. No matter what I ate, I couldn't gain weight. But working out, I've learned that when you work out, you break down the muscle fibers that simulates your hunger. But I remember I had to be patient because a lot of people, they begin weight training, they want results now. Everybody has a different genetic makeup. Everybody responds differently. So it's all about connecting your mind with your body and competing with yourself, but not competing with other people. That answers your question.
I also got another one. So how did you get past that hump of, you couldn't gain weight because...
Well, I literally worked out. I studied about nutrition. I would eat like 4 times a day. Like, for example, I would have milk, dairy products, food that's high in calories, like fruit, like, for example, healthy food, stuff like that, and eat 4 times a day because you can't digest so much, only digest so much protein per meal. So it's important to just spread it out. But especially with milk and dairy products, that help me increase the weight gain. I like meat, fish, egg, poultry, good fruit, amount of fruit.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Hey, what's your name?
Hey, hi, my name is Frank. Lou, back in the days, you made the film Pumping Iron. You made it with Arnold Schwarzenegger. My question is, what do you feel about him during that time?
The question is?
How did you feel about Arnold Schwarzenegger when you were filming Pumping Iron?
Well, we were the 2 main competitors.
Yes.
And back then, guys like him and I, big men, they went to pro football. And I don't know if you know this, first prize at the time was $750. So Arnold and I, we were competitors because growing up as a kid, he was my idol. He's like 5 or 6 years older than me, and he was the first tall man to break the barrier that you can't compete over 6 feet tall. So I wanted to defeat him. I wanted to be the best. So we had a chance to compete against each other in Pumping Iron. It was a great experience. But the beauty about it is the fact that today he's 70 years old, and like I'm 66, we're still working out, and still 2 of us put bodybuilding on the map. Because back then, we only were known through the magazine. And I remember I was approached, they said we're doing this movie called Pumping Iron. So it was a gamble for both of us because at the time the movie went, the producer went bankrupt. So they had to find a way to fund the film. So once it hit the public, everybody learned about bodybuilding. But at the time when I competed with Arnold, he's a Terminator.
Yes.
And to me, he's still a Terminator. But it's funny, he's gone into politics, and I've gone to the sheriff's department because he has the personality for it. But it's come a long way, though, because if it wasn't for him, I would think I would be where I am now because it motivated me to train harder to be more successful in the bodybuilding world.
One more thing. I remember your dad quote you one time. He said, Lou, you make Arnold's arms spaghettis. You look like spaghettis.
Yeah. Remember that like yesterday.
Thank you. Hey, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Michael. Lou, I just first want to say, when I was a very little kid, my mom had me watch every episode of The Incredible Hulk. So I want to thank you for being a really big part of my childhood. And also, did you ever have a moment on set, in makeup and everything, where you realized that, wow, I am this big, huge, comic book icon right now?
You mean experiences with the makeup?
Yeah, he wants to know if you ever asked yourself, wow, look at me, I am this Marvel icon.
Yeah, it happened one night. They were filming 2 in the morning, and I was exhausted. I said to the makeup man, I want to take the makeup off. I'm going to drive home. So it was 2:15. I pulled out of the parking lot to drive it home. I'm on the freeway. There's an SUV next to me, and the guy driving turns around and goes, holy shit! He starts screaming. The SUV crashed into a bus.
Oh my God.
And I'm saying to myself, I need to get home. I can't be afford to get pulled over like this. How would I explain this situation? That's when I realized what the Marvel character was.
All right. Thank you so much. That was great.
That was great. Hey, what's your name?
Hi, my name's Joe, and I wanted to ask, while you were doing the TV show, The Incredible Hulk, did you work much? How much did you get to work with Bill Bixby, and what was he like?
Bill was a wonderful producer, actor, and director. I got a chance to spend a lot of time with him, even though we only filmed a short scene in the movie of the week called Prometheus. But Bill was great because he took me under his wing. I watched how he would film, how he handled the dialogue. He was like my second father, because when I first joined the Hulk, the series, I was a big fan of his because he did other series like My Favorite Martian, Me and Eddie, The Courtship of Eddie's Father. So it was such a luxury just to be able to work with him as an actor. But he was a very reclusive guy. He would leave the set, but then he had some tragedy in his life, and he lost his son. One time we were filming, the boy died 8 years old, some kind of like an infection in his throat with the mother on the ski trip. And then his ex-wife committed suicide because she couldn't handle the death of her child. And then Bill ended up, he was supposed to film another movie of the week. He came down with prostate cancer, so that took his life. So he died at the age of 59, but he was a wonderful, generous person, and he would be missed, and I do miss him a lot.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Hey, what's up? What's your name?
Hi, my name is Mario. I wanted to ask, what were your favorite exercises to perform when in the gym?
Favorite episode.
Your favorite exercises to perform in the gym?
I would say barbell. You know why?
Why?
Because when people look at you, the first place to go is the eye and the muscle of the bicep. Because if you have no shirt on, the first place the eye goes to the stomach, then the bicep. So I wanted to have big biceps. So that's my favorite exercise, barbell.
Thank you.
Hi, what's your name?
Hi, my name is Elizabeth. I'm from Brooklyn as well, Bushwick and Flushing. My brother David, who's in New York right now, he's a big fan of yours, and he wanted me to ask you a question. I hope it doesn't get me in trouble because I don't know what the answer is yet.
You can ask me any question.
Thank you.
As long as it's not about sex.
Okay, you heard that, David? He wanted me to ask you if while filming Pumping Iron, were you able to eat your birthday cake?
At the movie Pumping Iron, was I able
Were
to
you able to eat your birthday cake?
I did that night.
Oh, okay.
Arnold was smoking
he ate his cake
marijuana
then?
and singing Happy Birthday. And I said, I just want to eat my birthday cake. No, he admitted on film. You'll see he was smoking marijuana, and I was eating the birthday cake. And as a matter of fact, the night of the competition, it was my birthday.
Wow.
Yeah, I decided I want to eat cake on my birthday because I lost the competition, but I'd rather have the cake to feel better. And he's smoking the joint. We're all in the same room.
Did he eat some of the cake too? I know you get the munchies when you do that.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where he went. He went in the elevator somewhere. I don't know where he went. But if you watch the movie carefully, watch that scene, and yeah.
Totally gonna watch it again. Thank
yeah,
you.
It was a fun movie.
Thank you.
That was a fun question. Thank you. All right. Hey, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Jim. I'm just curious, Lou, besides Arnold, who is your favorite bodybuilder and why?
Steve Reeves. Steve Reeves, I don't know if you know who he is. He played the original Hercules. This guy had an 18-inch calf, 18-inch bicep, 18-inch neck, 29-inch waist, no cavities in his teeth. He played Hercules, the first Hercules, and he's from Montana. So I worship him because he had beautiful symmetry. He was like a god. Because my father took me to the movie theaters. I remember it was Hercules. When I saw him standing there pulling down the two pillows, that was it. That changed my whole life. I want to emulate that. I ended up playing Hercules like 30-some years later.
Thank you.
We're going to have 3 more questions. Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Steve from the UK. Do you think the current world's strongest man could play the Hulk on TV like you did?
The world's strongest man? Well, it depends because when I played the Hulk, it was very athletic. But the guys today, they're huge. I don't know if you've ever seen the world's strongest man. I mean, they pick up all these gigantic rocks. They were like 300-400 pounds. I mean, God bless them. You know. But when I did the world's strongest man, I competed. I never trained for it. I wanted a steel bar bend and lifted 2,000 pounds. But today, because bodybuilding has gotten so popular and all the heavy training, they're able to put more size on because at the time I was like the biggest guy, but these guys are humongous. And I would say, it's tough. It's hard on the body though, because especially handling that much weight, because I think later in life they're going to pay a price.
Thank you for your question. All right. Hey, what's your name? This is going to be the end of the line, by the way. The last 2 questions here, so no one else join the line, please. Thank you very much. All right. Hey, what's up?
How you doing? Alex from Maryland. I wanted to say thank you for being an ambassador for all of us in law enforcement. And I want to take a guess. Was your favorite episode the one where you met yourself on stage and you were working out and the Hulk barged in? Was that your favorite episode? I'm just guessing.
Yeah, it's called King of the Beach.
That's it?
I enjoyed that because it was my first acting role. But the funny thing is that when I filmed it, I didn't want to go back on the whole makeup because I enjoy playing as an actor myself without the makeup. So it was kind of hard going back and forth. It was a great episode.
That was my favorite. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Hi, what's your name?
How you doing? I'm Shane. I'm from Brooklyn as well.
Not so much a question. I just wanted to say thank you. You made my childhood great, just watching you on TV every week. And also, you're an
Thank you.
Also, you're an inspiration to old guys like me. I see you, and I want to be better.
Good.
Thank
Good.
you.
Enjoy your pageant. Thank you.
All right, it's gonna be our last question here. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Grantham. I'm from Tallahassee. My question is that although I know you've cameoed in The Incredible Hulk, if you could cameo again in the Marvel Cinematic Universe or even play maybe a larger role like Hercules or someone, would you?
If you have an opportunity to play another role, because you've been in the MCU, the Avengers, and things like that, who would you want to play and why? If you can play Hercules or someone else in the MCU.
I'll probably play maybe like a Hercules character, but the aging to the character, an older character, more like a macho kind of a fashion. Got it?
Thank you.
Anyway, I will tell you a funny story. A long time ago when I was in Brooklyn, and I was talking to this gentleman here. At the time, I lived near Sheephead Bay. So at the time, I was driving a green Volkswagen. And people always wondered that if I took the front seat out, because I was like 285, 200 pounds, 290 at the time. So I was training for the Mr. Universe competition. I was 21 years old. And I went to the beach to get a suntan, and I was running out of time. So I was driving my car around the block. I was trying to find a parking spot. I couldn't find a parking spot. I'm looking at my watch. I say, I got to get a suntan because I had to leave for Geneva, Switzerland to compete. So as I'm driving around the block a few times, I see these small cars like a Caprice, like a Datsun B210. So I look both ways, nobody around. So I got out of my Volkswagen, I got in front of this car, I lifted a foot in the air towards the middle of the street. Then I went in the back, I did the same thing, so I literally moved the car to the middle of the street. And then I took my Volkswagen, I just parked it right into that spot. And then this guy comes running towards me, the owner of the vehicle, a big rabbi with a yarmulke on his head, screaming, yelling at me, foam coming out of his mouth. And I'm trying to go to the beach to get a suntan, and he's screaming. And then a black and white shows up, a police car. The cop gets out, and he sees the guy screaming at me on the sidewalk, and then he's yelling all over the place, and the cop trying to figure out what happened. So what happened, though, the guy that was yelling at me got a ticket for double parking. He got a second ticket for disturbing the peace. And he got a third ticket for assaulting a police officer. Guess what? I got my suntan. I think you got a kick out of it. I've done crazy things back then, and working out with ways, when you're young. So it was all my passion because you want something so bad, just go for it. That's why every one of you, I want to say again, health is your greatest wealth. And if you're passionate about something, I don't care what it is, embrace it. Because don't compete with other people, compete with yourself. Like, for example, public speaking is the number one fear in life. If somebody told me I had to be on stage here 45 years ago, 50 years ago, I'd be terrified. I wouldn't be able to speak because we're all very judgmental. So I've learned that, when you build a confidence in yourself, trusting yourself, that's the whole key. Anyway, thank you for coming. I'll be down the table a few more times, signing autographs. Thank you so much. I love you all.
One more
Thank
time.
you.
Give it up for Lou Ferrigno, everybody, the Incredible Hulk.